Hi everybody. I know that it's dark here, but we're gonna get more light shortly. And welcome to the Shmuley show. And I'm gonna be joined shortly by my daughter Rachel Leah. So start telling all your friends, man. Rachel Leah is 100 times more popular than I am. And also just make sure that you can hear me, because again, we're broadcasting from Europe, and I want to be sure that you can all hear me. And I'm waiting for Rachel Leah. President Trump is about to leave to Alaska. By the way, great time to have a summit, because Alaska in the summer is beautiful beyond description. I've been to Alaska, I think 5 times, but we once did a 6-week RV tour in Alaska, and then another time we did a 3-week, more of like a van tour. But there's no place like Alaska. It's off the charts this time of the year. Beauty beyond compare. It's the most beautiful place in the world. Greatest business deal, not just America, that anyone ever did was when William Seward purchased Alaska from the Russians. Dumbest deal they ever did. So now Putin is kind of coming back to see everything that he lost in Alaska. And this is before Alaska discovered that they had all this oil. And the oil, when I grew up, they were building the Alaska pipeline. Now, that was supposed to run out like within 10 years. It's 40, 50 years later, and that crude is freaking just guzzling out of Prudhoe Bay. Prudhoe Bay's at the Arctic Circle. I was going to try to do that road from Fairbanks to Prudhoe Bay. Fairbanks being probably the most northern major American city in the world, but it's not an easy road. And we were in a giant RV, and everything was just jumbling around. We turned around because you've got it's a 500-mile road, and you've got one gas station the entire time. Now let me just see where my daughter is, and if she's gonna join us. I also want to hear from all of you whether you think there's any real chance for peace with Putin and Ukraine. I think that Putin's demands, I have some friends that are around me here, I think that Putin's demands are going to be so impossible. He's going to want the entire Donbass region. Now, if someone wanted to make peace with us in the United States and they wanted to take the entire state of Florida, and Donbass is like the nicest region right by the Crimea. If someone wanted to take Florida and they'd say that would give them peace, I don't think we would do it. Let me just see that I got my daughter. Where is my daughter? Where is my daughter, Rachel Leah? Where is my daughter, Rachel Leah? Where is my daughter, Rachel? By the way, Rachel Leah is so much more popular than she posts a lot of her stuff on my feed, and if I get 1,000 likes, she'll get like 3,000. She's a lot more popular than I am. So what are the prospects for peace? And what is Putin's agenda? And could he even be trusted? Okay, let me just see where my daughter is. Okay, go live with Rachel. Shortly, God willing, so fear not. Let me see if my daughter's coming on. We have lots to talk about. Did all of you see that incredible? Okay, there's my daughter, Rachel. So she has.
Hi,
Okay, you see how much light she has and how little I have, and I'm gonna have more. Bob,
I
I
can
want to say
see
something.
you.
First of all, can you? But it's pretty dark, right?
Well, it was before. Now you're kind of lit up. I can see your face better.
Okay, so it's really funny that you are becoming so much more popular than I am. I think I've said this
That's
before.
what happens when I
The
mooch off of your Instagram.
No, the Talmud says, the Talmud officially says that a man is jealous of everything in the world except his own child.
I
But that's
really
not
don't
true.
like when you say this.
That's not true of me. I'm super jealous of my own daughter. I mean, why is my daughter so much more popular than I am?
Someone
Let,
just
let's
said that you're their king, okay? So, at least Git Waza said, you are my king, okay? So you don't have to be jealous.
Okay. God is king, but here on earth I'm king. Okay. Let's begin. Tell me about this crazy woman, Huda, whatever her name is, with the I don't put on makeup, I don't put on mascara, I don't put on lipstick. I
Okay.
don't get the whole Huda thing. This lunatic who said that Israel started the First World War before it ever existed. The state of Israel came into existence in May of 1948, and the First World War started with the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in July of 1914. Just update me. I mean, is she a
Okay.
lunatic? Or, yeah,
First of all, she's been terrible for a long time, but I just have to say, so my sisters and I, your daughters, my sisters, are six of us, thank God. For everyone who doesn't know, we were just doing a podcast this morning together, our first. We were talking about how insane the world is. Like, being a Jew right now is so retarded. Like, the world is so upside down. It's hard
yeah,
to just keep up. And Huda Katan is an example of that. Not only did she say that the Jews, she said Israel was behind World War I and World War II, but Israel, the modern state of Israel, didn't exist until 1948, right? So she
right,
meant the Jews because Israel did not exist. She then had to like put up an
right,
apology video after she put that up because Sephora was maybe going to drop her. I don't know. And
right.
she actually was like, "You don't understand. I learned about the Holocaust in school, and it made me so sad. Now I know I made a vow to always speak up." Tati and everyone listening, that Hitler, literally, Tati, this was one of Hitler's, you would know, one of his most famous claims about the Jews, one of his most infamous lies about the Jews, that we were behind both world wars. She was parroting Adolf Hitler while and simultaneously talking about how sad the Holocaust was. Are you listening to this? It's
Yeah, yeah.
insane.
No, 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 no.
Oh, I can see you.
I'll tell you what she meant when she said what's her name? Huda what?
Huda Katan.
Huda Katan. Okay. And what's her ancestry? What's her ethnicity? What is her
She lives
what's
in
her what's
Dubai, I believe. I don't know.
okay.
She's
So is she
Arabian.
Muslim?
Yes,
Arabian. Okay.
I believe.
I
I
mean,
believe she's
A
Muslim.
lot of Muslims love Jews. Okay, but okay, fine. So, and she's a billionaire. She has
Yeah.
$1 billion cosmetic empire. So let me tell you what she meant when she said that she studied about the Holocaust and she got so sad. She's so sad that oh, can you turn the camera please off because it's exactly based on the camera. Oh, you mean the light? Oh, we're so sorry. Okay, okay, put it on me here. No, I'll turn
Put it a
sideways.
little bit down.
No, here. Let me move it like this. This is good. One second. Hold on. Oh my
Are you
God.
actually on a boat?
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Oh, this is yeah. This is good. Perfect. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Hang on.
By the way, Tati,
Okay, do it now. Let me do it now.
did you watch Tucker Carlson's interview with Mother Agapia with a giant mustache?
Yeah, I want to talk. I want to talk about that as well. I was actually very jealous of her mustache. I want to learn what her secrets are. I was going to write that, but let me go back to Hoda for a second. What she meant was, when she studied about the Holocaust, and she was very sad. She was sad that more Jews weren't. She was sad that it was only 6 million. I understand how sad she was. Like, her whole thing was, wait a second, Hitler's not even an honest man. I mean, she agrees with us that Hitler's corrupt and Hitler's a liar, because Hitler promised to kill all the Jews of Europe, and he only killed half of the Jews of Europe. So that's why
Yeah,
she said, I completely understand that not enough not
she's
enough Jews
upset.
were killed. What I find, like you said, you were speaking to your sisters, my daughters, about how insane the world is. What what freaks me out is that once upon a time, the like if you go back to the Holocaust, obviously it was infinitely worse than our times. You can't compare 10,000 Jews being gassed a day to even the tsunami of anti-Semitism we're experiencing. Certainly in Israel, they want to bring about the murder of 6 million Jews, but it was localized to Nazi Germany and its supporters. Now it's a global phenomenon. It's in Australia. It's in countries that you never expected. I mean, your mother's Australian. Australia always had so much love to the Jews. There were 50,000 Jews in Australia in like 1947. They took in one for one. For every Jew that was in Australia, they took in a Holocaust survivor. That's quite a statement. Now look at them. Now Australia is a sewer of anti-Semitism. New Zealand, sewer of anti-Semitism. Spain, England. So, okay, so back to this Huda Katan. I don't understand. Once upon a time, if you would say something like that, like the Jews are responsible for all the wars, and you come out as a crazy anti-Semite, like Mel Gibson when he was drunk and he was arrested for drunk driving, and he said the Jews started all the wars. He was forced to do an apology. Now, is he still an anti-Semite? I don't know, but I actually believe that you have to kind of accept people's apologies when they offer them. But this Huda Katan, her apology was that the Jews are actually so much worse than even I've been saying, right? And her apology was worse than her original statement.
It was the ultimate gaslighting. I did a video about it. Tati, it was shocking. Shocking. It not only didn't make sense, everything was turned on its head. Do you know the funniest part? I actually burst out laughing. I almost choked. Do you know what she said? She said that that Jews stopping other people from talking about Israel, like herself, like I'm allowed to criticize Israel. When Jews stop other people from criticizing Israel, they're creating anti-Semitism. So they're anti-Semites. She actually said that. No, you don't understand. She actually was like, if you're criticizing me, you're creating anti-Semitism and you're an anti-Semite. And then she ended that part with, and I'm very concerned about anti-Semitism and Jews being in danger. It was so insane. It took me like a few days to think like who has the guts.
But insane is sane right now. Like last night when I
Yeah,
did the, Johnny is watching. Hey, Johnny, my producer, works in my office. Johnny arranged for me to, your father's 50 years old. I'm an old geezer. And I don't know the whole young generation of influencers, but he's getting me to debate more and more of them. So I debated Gary, the numbers guy. Did you hear
nice.
of him before last night?
Yes.
Okay. So me and Gary, the numbers guy. And again, you're talking, the stuff that he was saying was so insane. He basically started our debate by telling me that the Rothschilds bought the Titanic to sink all of Europe, and then they are still living on the bottom of the ocean of the Titanic or something. Or something. I mean, it was like, and then I said to me, look, I have to admit, I just came from that Rothschild party in the bottom of the Titanic. We just do it several times a month, but the nice thing was I was able to get Neil Armstrong's signature because he's still there. He's doing another video of landing on Mars in a TV studio at the
It's
bottom of the
so
Titanic.
crazy. It's insane.
And nothing is about fact. Like, and then he says that that Israel Israel okay. And then he
By the
says
way,
that
Hoda
Trump just
Katan, Tati Hoda Katan
she
didn't
also
just
we
say
also
World
killed
War and World
JFK.
War II. She said Israel is behind 9/11 and every world war and October 7th. By the way, she did this other thing that I want to discuss where it was so manipulative and actually kind of genius. She's prohibiting Jews from being victims because they always do it to themselves. When she said Jews were behind October 7th and the Holocaust, World War II, she was basically saying it wasn't Hamas and it wasn't the Nazis. So when Jews are slaughtered, they're just doing it to themselves. So Jews are never victims. Isn't that so smart? It's such a good way of vilifying people. Does that make sense to you?
Well, it does. It does. It makes sense in an illogical manner in a world that is turned upside down. But just hang on a second. So the question then becomes, how do we debate people who are not factual? How do we debate people who are certifiably insane? How do we debate lunatics? Is it
I
even
don't
worth
know.
it? Like a lot of people are saying to me, why are you debating Gary's a numbers guy? And then he started talking about the number six, and he said that this 6 point star of the Jews, and that shows we're satanic.
That's
I
Candace
said, I
Owens.
said,
That's Candace Owens said that.
well, Candace Owens should be sued by like Sony Pictures for a movie called Damien. Because the 666, Damien,
Yeah.
the Omen, the Book of Revelation says. So in other words, this whole 666 thing, Candace Owens ripped it off from a film. But how do we debate people who are not factual, who are just lunatics? When Gary the Numbers guy comes along and he says, hey, Trump just announced that Israel killed JFK, and of course, Trump never said any such thing. So we have a choice. We can either let them grow in the shadows and ignore them and not elevate them because they're crazy and you can't debate people who are not using facts. It's funny, like he was speaking about the Marshall Plan. I said, "What is the Marshall Plan?" He had no clue, but he was just saying he was using the Marshall. I said, "Who was Marshall? What was his first name?" I don't know. It was the Marshall Plan. I said, "No. There was someone named George Marshall, Secretary of State of the United States." I mean, they don't know. It's amazing the level
Ugh.
of ignorance. But you see, Baba, by leaving these people in the wings to say their crap like Huda Katan, and for her to then, as you say, gaslight us Jews and actually call us the anti-Semites, in an incredible reversal when she says that we are the most demonic people on earth. When we fight her on it, we become anti-Semites for defending ourselves. That kind of twisted logic, which isn't, it's not even twisted logic. It's beyond the pale of total insanity. But when we leave them in the grow, then they fester like a cancer. And this is where anti-Semitism becomes a genuine virus that goes global. And this is where I agree with Gary, the numbers guy, where he said last night, you Jews are losing on social media. And I think that's true because we pride ourselves on being people of the book. We pride ourselves on historical facts. You know that your father loves reading history and watching the historical documentaries and right now visiting all kinds of historical places. I was in Nuremberg yesterday at Hitler's Nazi rally party grounds that was built by Albert Speer, his favorite. But but I still agree to these debates. Why? Because part of the debate is being able to be as crazy as they are in exposing their insanity. to mock
Hmm.
them, to gaslight them as much as they are doing to us. But not to oppose them and not to respond to them, not to debate them, is to allow their falsehoods to go unchallenged. Now, you're a younger generation than me, or my daughter. Comment on that.
Well, so I have a question. So you're saying, because I actually think about this all the time, what's the correct way, the most strategic, smartest way to combat these lies? You're saying not to actually like say, that's wrong, that's not true. Like, don't don't disprove their point, is what you're
No, no,
saying.
no. It
Just
depends. No, 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 no. That's not true. No, of course you have to disprove
but
that.
no,
I'm
but
saying
sometimes when
when
I
they
do that, I
when
feel
they
stupid for doing
when
that.
they right, because they're dragging you into their mud pit, into their sewer,
Yeah.
and now you're going to get dirty. No, there's two kinds of falsehoods about Jews and in general. One is where someone just makes crap up, like children are starving in Gaza, and the New York Times will paint a picture that is actually a falsehood. Now, the New York Times claims to care about facts, but they will actually show a picture of what looks like an emaciated saying he has muscular dystrophy, that he has a muscular neurological a disorder from the time he was born. And they even cut out his brother, who's of normal weight, and his mother, who's of normal weight. So that's a lie. That we have to respond to. And our enemies do this in debate all the time. They will simply lie, like Cenk Uygur will just lie nonstop. I'm talking about when they start saying stuff that is just freaking insane, like Israel started the First World War when Israel didn't exist. Do we just mock them with jokes and show we can get under their skin and be as cynical as they are, just to expose that these are now lunatics? These aren't false facts. This is saying Martians have now overtaken my head. Like in the middle of the debate last night, the guy was the numbers guy. I said, "Wait a second, Gary, take off." I said, the antennas in my head covering my yarmulke. I'm getting a special transmission from the Jews on the bottom of the Titanic about what I should say, and that's what I kind of mean. That you can't debate a guy who's telling you that Jews are alive at the bottom of the Titanic, and the tooth fairy's there with them. You know what I mean? And Paul Bunyan has his axe there. So that's what I'm asking you. How do we counteract the the Hurricanans, who they're not factually wrong, they're lunatics, they are insane. They're not even trying to quote a fact. They're just gonna invent. They're not even inventing. They're saying stuff that, I mean, they're on magic mushrooms, right? These guys are freaking on LSD. They're tripping. How do you debate that? So I'm saying you debate it as cynically as they do by being even more humorous and showing that this is all freaking laughable. And
Yeah.
yet, no matter how laughable it is, it can be deadly. You know, a lot of Hitler's stuff
True.
was forget it not being factual. A lot of stuff Hitler said was also out of
Insane.
this world, insane, straight out of Mars, and it led to the Holocaust. Right?
Yeah, well, the thing is, everything I know, I learned from you. So, but I will say that, so everything I learned, everything I know, the way that I behave and was taught to me by you and mommy. But I think when I think of combating anti-Semitism and fighting with anti-Semites, I try to emulate you. And I think, where did you get that from? I always tell everyone, if I ever talk about you, that you have such a strong relationship with the Torah. You truly love scripture. Like, it enlivens you. Like, I love how much you love Torah. You've given me that love. And I think that you've emulated our ancestors in a way that no one else has, which makes you so strong. Like, there's this misconception that to be a Jew means you have to, like, Yoshev Ohalo, you have to sit in your tent and learn Torah all day, and if you don't fight. And look at what's happening with the Haredim in Israel right now. But I think you do the opposite. You actually understand what it is to be a Jew, from King David, from Moses, from Abraham, who was a warrior. Remember, he killed like the five kings in saving Lot, from Shimshon. And so what I'm trying to say is I copy
Yeah.
you, that strength of just kind
Okay.
of
Okay.
sometimes
So then,
being wild. And
so then you're saying we have to fight them even if they're lunatics. I happen to agree with that, by the way.
no, but I'm saying, I'm not saying, what am I trying to say? Yes, you do have to fight them, but like you said, sometimes it's not with facts or like, pulling out a textbook. It's just going crazy, like match their crazy, like be as insane as they are. That's what I think.
Yeah, you may be right. You may be right, because if you're not as crazy as they are, you are ceding the public square to them. That
Yeah.
lunatic has got a megaphone in middle of a public square in Amsterdam or Vienna where I was just attacked, and they're just going to sit there and say lies day and night that Jews created COVID. And so it used to be that people would just dismiss insane people like that, and now they're really beginning to listen to them. That's what's happening.
Mm.
Let's go. So let's go through some of these things right now. Let's go to Tucker Carlson. I'm sure he won't even answer if he's being funded by Qatar, but no, he won't say who are his main investors. But let's just go. His new thing is Jews are killing all the Christians in the Middle East. Is that his new thing? So what's he
Yeah,
saying?
yes. Well, he hosted
And
this
what happened in that
stupid
interview
nun.
with the nun? And who is she?
She's an
And how can I
unholy.
grow a mustache? And how can I grow a mustache like her? No,
She
but
has a
that's
giant
not fair. But
mustache. And by the way, the reason I mention her gigantic mustache is because she leaves it there on purpose to show the world how holy she is, and she's not holy at all. That's why it pisses me off that she has a mustache. Anyways, she said something insane. Can you hear me? Hello?
yeah.
Wait, you're frozen.
Yes.
Hold
I
on.
can hear you. I
Oh,
can hear you.
okay. Okay. I can
I
see
can
now.
hear. Okay. Yeah.
So she said something so insane, and I'm about to upload a video about it right now after we speak. She was like, her whole thesis is that Israel is abusing the Christians that live there, right? But that wasn't it. She said that wherever Christians, like a Jew's response to that would be like, well, look at the the countries around Israel. Christians are like, they don't even exist there. But she made it impossible to fight her because she said that whenever Christians are like in the Middle East, they're abused in the Middle East in general, it's Israel's plan. Israel is doing it behind the scenes. Do you understand what she's trying to say? Like,
Yes.
she said in Israel, Christians are being abused by the state and the Jews living there. And wherever you see Christians being abused in the Middle East, it's actually Israel pulling the strings. So you can't even fight her on it because, like, you'd be like, "What are you? Look at the Muslim countries. Christians don't even exist there anymore." And she just say, "Well, it's Israel." It's insanity. It's insanity. It's crazy.
Okay. So here she's a clear Israel hater and an anti-Semite and a liar.
Patty, she said Hamas is
Why did
resistance and just trying to
why
protect Palestinians. She actually said that. Wait.
why did Tucker Carlson have her on? What was
To
do you think
turn
he should
Christians, the Christian world against Israel and America.
who has a so himself
I can't hear you.
Trump guy. Trump called him and he's not. He's even, you can't.
I can see you now.
You can't. Is this better?
I can see you. I can hear you
Let's
and see
hope.
you.
Oh, okay, good. What did Tucker Carlson achieve by having his objective?
His objective was to reach the Christians, um,
Yeah.
the Christians in America who love Israel, to make them stop loving Israel because they think that Israel is betraying Christians and abusing Christians.
So he knows that the most fortified base of Israel's support in America is evangelical Christians. You're saying he's trying to erode away at that base.
100%.
That means, well, that says to me that he's like a Qatari agent. I'm serious. If that because it's not true, right? I've taken you to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. You've seen where Jesus, according to Christian tradition, was buried and then resurrected. Israel protects all the Christian holy sites. These places are completely inaccessible, of course, when it was run by Jordan. Um, and there are more Christian tourists going to Israel than there are Jews who visit Israel. There's about 3 million Christian tourists who go, and they see how loved, embraced, accepted they are, let alone, I mean, no one would believe going to Jerusalem how many holy spaces are inaccessible to us Jews because they're still controlled by the Latin Patriarch in Jerusalem. The whole Shiloach pool, where the water of the ancient temple was brought, we can't even use that today because it's still owned by the Latin Patriarch. And it took the city of David, the national park, like 20 or 30 years just to negotiate a deal, just to open it to tourists and just to excavate it. That's how much Israel respects Christian land rights, let alone Christian human rights. But you're telling me that Tucker Carlson is doing this because he's going after, he knows the main people who are supporting Israel, even the Jews, lot of Jews, very woke, very left, and they're abandoning Israel. He knows the bedrock of support is evangelicals. You're telling me he has an agenda to erode that support.
Yes, it's very clear. By the way, he himself is a Christian. He was saying things like, if you're a Christian and you believe in the Old Testament, well, really the Torah, you believe things like, supporting the Jewish people and the land of Israel. But he went, like, in trying to erode this, he basically is saying that, like, the modern state of Israel is not biblical Israel. And the modern, like, the Jewish people in the modern state of Israel are not actually the people of Israel. It goes so far, it doesn't end. The lies don't end.
Does he? And he has no Christian. The funny thing is, he found like the one Christian woman who has two things. Yeah, the one Christian woman in Israel has two things. Number one, she's the only Christian in Israel that hates Jews. He found her, and she's the only one with a big giant mustache.
She
What was
might
your
not be.
wait 1 second? What was your explanation
So
of
I
the
have a
mustache?
theory.
I don't know. I have a mustache.
I have a working theory about her
Yeah,
mustache. I can't hear
I
you.
have a
Hello?
mustache. Yeah. What's your theory
It's
about
it's a prop. She leaves it there. It's so easy to get rid of it. She leaves it there
that?
because she's trying to communicate to the world that she's holy and that she's not of this world. So everything she says is truth, but she's actually horrible.
Above, right. I help with you, Bob. I think you're being very unfair because if that would be full beard,
That's true.
just
Maybe she can.
she would
She
just have
could. She'd
like a
probably have a beard too. She's such a
she would just
faker.
have like a fork beard. Okay,
True.
I want to move on. I want to move on to let's move from Israel to culture. Let's move to Taylor Swift. I was like shocked that Taylor Swift. So she
I
went
pick
on
up the
Travis
charger.
podcast
Yeah.
and she released the new cover of her. She's gone full soft porn. Now,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. I don't know if you remember. I took you to one of her concerts when she was a nobody. It was an accident.
Yes,
We
I
were staying.
remember.
We were going to Newfoundland, driving in an RV, and we stayed in a campground on Friday night on Shabbos. We don't drive on Shabbos, and our campground was adjacent to this enormous field in I think St. Edward's Island. And who even visits St. Edward's Island? It's beautiful, but not. And Keith Urban was highlighting, and she was his introduction act. She was a nobody. You remember all this?
Yep.
And she was so wholesome back then. Okay, so now she's this big superstar. So in the last concert tour, her Eras tour, she's wearing bodysuits and all that. Okay, and she's being more sexual, and who knows if she had a lot of work? None of my business. But did you see the latest cover of her like I'm the Life of a Showgirl thing?
Yep. It
I mean,
was so disappointing.
am I right in saying it's just she's just gone full soft porn the way Madonna did in the 1980s?
So I want to hear what you think about this, okay? I'm about to make a video about that too. If you say that she looks like she's doing soft porn, women on Instagram will destroy you. Why is that? Can you give me some insight into that? Why?
No, see, I was one of the first people to really come out hard against Madonna, and I was told at the time she loves Israel and she is Kabbalah and she goes to the Kabbalah Center, and I said I don't care. She's violating Jewish values and undermining the dignity of women because the female recording industry, like the male recording industry, was really based on talent. John Lennon became John Lennon not because he wore tight, a tight European man thong, and neither did Paul McCartney, neither did Elvis. Elvis was a little bit, he gyrated. That was considered sexual at the time, but these people never showed off their bodies or their junk or their butts. They were really genuinely talented, and the same thing is true with women. Ella Fitzgerald. I can go through all the great Judy Garland, all the legendary female voices. Madonna is the one that destroyed all of that. Madonna's the one who erased the line between porn and music. And ever since then, and then Britney Spears made it even worse and never came back from that. It's very sad
And
to
they
see
were
what's
both
happened to Britney
destroyed by
Spears.
it.
So, but Taylor Swift started in the country music thing where the women I think are more wholesome in terms of not talent necessarily, but in terms of how they dress and values. And by wholesome, I simply mean that they focus on their talent. This is the musical industry. If you want it to be the porn industry, that's okay. If you want it to be the modeling industry, that's okay. But what about women who really are good at dance and music, the way Michael Jackson was? You know that our family was very close to Michael Jackson. And Michael, yeah, Michael. I once asked Michael, why do you grab your crotch during the concerts? And he honestly said to me, it's in our book, The Michael Jackson Tapes. He said, I'm not even conscious of it. I kind of just do it because it's a reflexive dance move. I kind of believe that, but regardless, he didn't go beyond that. But Taylor Swift really is just dressed up in it's a soft porn thing. So you're asking me why people get angry if especially as a man, say I said that in my book, Hating Women. Why do they get upset? Because they think we're undermining women's rights. A woman has a right to say what she wants. A woman has a right to be what she wants and to dress as she wants. Of course, I believe in all that dress, but I have a right to comment on it, and so do you as a woman. But I would say that these women are doing dressing this way out of a sense of compulsion. I think that Taylor Swift is not. I don't think that's who she really is. I don't think she's choosing to dress this way. I think she feels that as she gets older and risks becoming more irrelevant, she has to show more of her body in order to
That's what I
compete
said.
with younger women. Right. So I don't think it's her choice. I think it's market necessity,
I
economic
couldn't
necessity.
agree more. I couldn't agree more. And it's sad. It's so sad, specifically because she's the most successful modern pop artist. And if she's
The
naked,
most successful since Madonna. Right. Okay. Yeah. She's in Madonna league. Yeah.
yeah,
Go on.
okay, of our what do I say? Like of our generation, I guess. I guess since Madonna, I think she's even more successful than Madonna. No?
Not at Madonna's height, but okay. Whatever. Yeah. Let's say
Okay,
okay.
I'm not sure. Okay, um, and I just feel if she's naked and looking like a soft porn actress, the rest of everyone else is screwed. Like she kind of sets the tone because she's the biggest,
Right. Right. You're
and she's so
let's
talented
say you have
and young.
let's say you just have a great voice or great dance moves. Is that going to be enough? If you don't show cleavage, if you don't show your ass, if you don't, yeah, it's. I think it's very unfair to women because I'll tell you why. Because it's not. I think it's a form of for all the women who are saying, "Oh, Shmuley, you're a male chauvinist." I'm so angry, and you have the right to say this. Really? Why doesn't the male recording industry have to show this? Why don't men have to wear things with like their ball with their I shouldn't say that, their testicles hanging out? Why don't they have to have, their butt crack showing? Why is it only women? It's such a double standard. It's shocking.
Well, men and women are different, and women have that power, I think, more than men do. But it's an abuse of women because you're right. There should be like an even playing field where we do the same things to be successful. And yeah, it's terrible. And she has the hearts and minds of literal millions of young girls and women. And she has so much potential to be a good role model. And I think she squandered that with this.
This is a new low for her, I have to say. By the way, we're on this trip, right? And a lot of people, I'm amazed with a lot of people who are politically liberal, and they were all cursing out Melania Trump. I'm amazed how many people dislike Melania Trump. I feel the exact opposite. I think Melania Trump is a beautiful woman. She was a supermodel, quite literally, and she did nude photos. But she has chosen to go in the exact opposite direction. As a first lady, she never appears without the foremost dignity. She's not a publicity chaser. It's a very interesting thing, and she comes from that world, and she made a 180-degree turn. Maybe when she became a mom, I don't know, but everyone else is going the opposite direction. And it's kind of sad. And yet Melania Trump commands the respect of a lot of people because she insists on that kind of dignity. And whenever people kind of argue, kind of criticize her and say, "Hey, where the hell is she? She's the first lady. She should be." I'm almost impressed with a woman who's not chasing the spotlight, who is famous and powerful. But you know, that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. By the way, Melania Trump did release something last year. People were I guess condemning her. She did like pretty nude photos for I believe it was whatever, and she said like, "What's wrong with that? Like, I
No,
was
no, no, no,
celebrating
no.
the
That's no,
female
no,
body."
no. That's true. But right. No, she released her book
I
and she
disagree with her there.
defended. No, so do I. She defended the earlier nude photos
Yes.
she had taken when she was starting her career. The truth is, I think she regrets it. I think she had no choice
Me
but
too.
to defend. I think she regrets it tremendously. I think she's embarrassed, to be perfectly honest. But she never did it again. In any event, okay. I want to move to one final thing. So let me ask you a question. You just had a son, my grandson, named after my father, which I could not be more grateful. It comforts me so much. His name is Yoav Mordechai, beautiful little Yoav Mordechai. And so you were able to be an influencer, and now you have to balance it all, right? You are very popular, Bob, and everyone knows you all over the world. I call my daughter Baba. You all call her Rochelle. But you are very popular, Baba, and now you have to balance everything. And can a woman have it all? Are you finding the challenges of motherhood? Is it impeding? You always worried if when I have kids, because if people want to hear your voice. Is it gonna? You were afraid. Would it undermine your voice? Would it obstruct your voice? Can women have it all? Are you able to have it all, or do you feel it pulls you away from your son?
First of all, nothing will ever make me happier, and you always told me this, than having children. And he is just the sweetest, most delicious thing, and he will always come first. And there are times when I completely put all of my career stuff on hold because he needed my full attention. But you definitely can, and I'll tell you how. Like, people think when you have kids it's going to take all your time. Having kids gives you more time because, I started waking up at 5 in the morning. I get up almost every morning at 5. I used to get up at like 9:30, sometimes 10. It pushes you to be bigger, be better. It expands you. So I actually have way more time than I used to, which is so ironic. You definitely can have it all. Maybe not all at the same time, but
Does it make you
having kids.
but having a son, does it make you more committed to your work? Maybe like now you feel I don't want my son to inherit a crap world full of disgusting anti-Semitism, hatred, bigotry, lies, lunacy. Does it commit you to making the world, wanting to make the world better, or no? It's the same.
Definitely, yes. But it's more that I'm so proud to have had a Jewish son. I'm so proud to continue the Jewish nation. It's such a privilege to be a Yid, to be a Jew, and continue the Jewish people, that I want to be the proudest, best possible, godly, holy, unwavering, unshakable Jew in for him, in his honor. I want him to see me and see kind of the way I see you, the way I see mommy. You were that for me. Um, so yeah, I definitely care so much more. But it's not just like I want him to have a better world. I want him to be a ferocious Jew. I want him to be a Jew in the fullest sense, a Jew in full. So I definitely care so much more. He's so cute. Can I Nahara?
Yeah, he really is. Thank God. Why do they hate us so much, Baba? You and I have talked about this all the time, and you know my theories. I've written whole books about this, several books, and I've come down to the essential idea that we Jews represent morality, God's teachings to the world. So if you kill the messenger, then you kill morality, and then you could have a Tucker Carlson who can sell out, if he is selling out the Qatar. You can have get Clandestine ovens just filled with her hatred and her lunacy, going after her money and all those things. If you kill the Jewish people off, then you kill their message off. You kill
Mm-hmm.
their message off, then the world is a jungle, and then and then whoever is the king of the jungle, whoever has the most clicks, it's all clickbait. So I think that we Jews stand in the way of that. But I'm also really beginning to believe that a lot of them really are jealous. Not jealous that Jews are successful and have money. That's what Jews for 1,000 years, especially here in Europe where I am right now, were fiddler on the roof. Not only they have no money, they just live in the hollow. Jealousy might just be that we are. I wake up every day, as you know, about to 1,000 messages. By Jew, the sky. There's 1,000. My his off creative Jew. They can kill. I'm actually there's peace out there, but if you get our hands on Rabbi, I've tried like 12,000 ways you could actually murder. Okay, so so these meme kills like it's making them. We give them to the they're pretty. They're tragic.
Wait, we can't hear
Every
you.
actually said it's one of the hear me?
Wait, hold
I'm sorry.
on. Just wait for 1 second. Okay, try again.
Can you hear me now? Oh, yeah.
No, I mean, I can hear you, but you're all jumbled.
Hear me now?
I can hear
Okay.
you.
Still can't hear me?
No, something's up with the reception.
That's I guess. I was about to say if you look at just the least people saying,
I can't hear you.
well, yeah, the last hour, something,